closing stages of this season as we head in towards the Italian Grand Prix. Today's set of news has come from the sponsor side of things of Formula 1. First of all, Petronas have signed a brand new multi-year deal with Mercedes as title sponsors. As we know, Petronas have been a key part of Mercedes for such a long time now, and Petronas say that their relationship with Mercedes is as good as ever, and they want to continue that sponsorship going forward. However, following this deal, Petronas have decided to split with BMW after the end of this year. Petronas basically said that they had the choice to continue to sponsor Mercedes or to change and sponsor BMW full time, and they decided that they wanted to keep their relationship with Mercedes and obviously BMW take the hit from this. Ferrari are looking to add new sponsors to their car for next season. Ferrari, of course, have had quite a plain car this season with not that many sponsors. However, they said that they've got some lined up, but they're just not sure just as of yet. And finally, Jaguar are also set to find major sponsors very, very soon. As we know, Jaguar and HSBC have split in terms of their partnership. Having a look at the practice pointers then, so first of all, Ferrari brought a brand new engine upgrade to their home race to try and do something for their home fans here at Monza, as they really want to try and get a positive result. Renault have been struggling to find their groove here at Monza. In the past few races, we've seen that Renault have been very, very competitive and have been scoring some very high amount of points per race. This time around, though, it's not really working out for them, and they're going to need to find a little bit more if they're going to actually score some points this weekend, as the likes of Ferrari, Audi, and Porsche are all in strong positions to take those places, along with the likes of Red Bull, Mercedes, and McLaren. However, with those top three teams, only one of them is doing a good job at the moment, and that's McLaren, with them having a wicked car in general. Red Bull and Mercedes are suffering with this power-heavy track. Both of the two teams have obviously noticed that their car is so slow in a straight line that it's really not helping them in this track. Mercedes, however, are having a slightly better time with it, as especially with Tom, he's eligible to get more out of the car on a straight line by trimming the car a lot more in terms of full-on downforce, and is able to still get through the corners without not having any wings at all. But without further ado, guys, let's get into qualifying and the race and see what goes down at the Italian Grand Prix. Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Foxy98 here. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the F1 journey for you guys today here on the channel. Today we're here for round number 13, which is the Italian Grand Prix. Before we get into today's video, if you do enjoy it, obviously feel free to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not yet subscribed already, as we get closer and closer to the release of F1 2019 now as well, which is coming next Tuesday, which I'm really excited about. Heading into the Italian Grand Prix, of course, not really that confident, mainly because, well, that Parabolica was dreadful. And also, obviously, my Mercedes car is probably the slowest in a straight line. So this is probably, in theory, my weakest track. But the best thing about my Mercedes is it's got such good downforce that I have got the capabilities to go ahead and literally strip this thing right down in terms of downforce and make it the skinniest rear winged car possible on the grid. But anyway, on to qualifying then. So we set 2 banker laps. On my final lap here, this is when I started to manage my ERS a lot better. This is when I also started working on the fuel as well, and really maximising how much fuel I put into the car. As you can see, breezing it around the final corner to the Parabolica, making that drag towards the start-finish line. We're about a second up on our best lap time there as we cross the start-finish line. It is 6th on the grid, which is fantastic for myself. Really good starting point to make some inroads as we go into the race itself. And you'll be able to see here, it was an extremely close qualifying. Sam got pole position, but by only 8/1000ths of a second to Nico Hülkenberg there. So the Ferraris rocked up in qualifying and took 2nd and 3rd on the grid in front of their home crowd. Of course, a really important race for them to score some points after what's been an awful season for them this year. And then, of course, you've got the likes of myself and also Reese in there. P12, only 7/10 off the pace though, so again, qualifying, especially around 10, I think it was 1.4, 1.5 seconds separated the top 20, so it's a really close qualifying session there. Into the race itself though, we're on the super soft tyres, intending to start on the, intending to move to softs later on in the Grand Prix, but as you can see, we've got 4, now 5 red lights here for this Italian Grand Prix, and it is lights out. We go here to start the Italian Grand Prix. Good start for us initially off the line there. It's been a great start for Hülkenberg in the Ferrari up towards turn 1 now. Sam and Hülkenberg will make that drag down towards the chicane here. Hamilton's got a great start as well as they go in towards the chicane. We'll take the inside line here. Sam just about covers off Hülkenberg. Pascal Wehrlein goes very wide there on the grass, and that allows me now to go side by side with Pascal Wehrlein. Here we go then, alongside Pascal Pascal Wehrlein through the Curva Grande now. We get in front of Pascal Wehrlein just about there. And now, as you can see, up the front here, though, here comes Hulkenberg for an attack on Sam for the lead here of the Italian Grand Prix. Hulkenberg trying to make the Tifosi go wild here. And I think he might have just done it. Hulkenberg snatches the lead here of the Italian Grand Prix as they go into the first Lesmo corner. He's got the inside line here on Sam, but Sam holds it around the outside of this first part of the Lesmo. Now into the second phase of that. That's where Sam should get the better drive now on the second part of the Lesmo, and they still go side by side here. Hulkenberg versus Sam now. This should really favour Sam. He's got more straight line speed in that Mercedes compared to what Hulkenberg has got in that Ferrari in towards the Ascari chicane. Sam holds on and compromises Hulkenberg's line slightly there. That's put us onto the back of Hulkenberg now as we go down the straight now in towards the second to last corner here. And as you can see that Hulkenberg now has to settle in behind. He's lost some ground now for Sam. And that was critical for Sam. He had to make sure that Hulkenberg did not steal that position there. And as you can see, it is Sam ahead of Nico Hulkenberg, ahead of myself in third place. Pascal Wehrlein is in fourth. Then we've got, I believe, that is Lando Norris in fifth place. Then it's Rosberg there as well. And as you can see, that is the end of the first lap now. As you can see, Pascal Wehrlein there in the Red Bull, looking very close to the back of my car. And we've managed to hold him off, though, because we've got the Slipstream there as Norris now is under pressure from Nico Rosberg in the Ferrari. So Rosberg losing places, a lot of them actually at the start there. But he just doesn't quite have the straight line speed to beat the McLaren. But there was a fight going on behind. I'm going to try and find it. Here it is then. So it's actually Reese there that's made a move on one of the Renault cars there. Ocon it is. And we've got Ocon, one of the Jaguar cars, and someone else in there. Lap 2 of the Grand Prix now. Going to start lap 3. Hulkenberg and Sam starting to build a little bit of an advantage here as I now try and edge away from Pascal Wehrlein. But as we go into the Parabolica, that's where Pascal Wehrlein's actually locked up behind us. Gone a little bit wide there on the exit of the Parabolica, and you can see him here now. He's lost out time. You can see there goes Lando Norris in front now. And Pascal Wehrlein has lost out in terms of performance now. And he's on the back foot here. Rosberg now with DRS down the back straight here as they go up towards the first corner. Rosberg drag racing Pascal Wehrlein. Now we've got Russell on the inside line here trying to have a look at Rosberg, and also Pascal Wehrlein here. 3 wide into towards the chicane here. Pascal Wehrlein's going to be on the outside for all of this now. Loses many places there. Does Pascal bumps over the curb. Nearly hits George Russell in the process of all of this now. Really scruffy few corners for Wehrlein, and it's put him right in this massive queue of cars he just doesn't want to be a part of here. And now all of a sudden there's Lando Norris having a look at us in front. Meanwhile, you can see that Russell is now, oh my god, there's literally so many cars right now. Jesus. As we can see now, George Russell here barges his way past Nico Rosberg. So Russell now gains a couple of places in that. So good creative driving there from George Russell. Some bad driving though from Pascal Wehrlein. Meanwhile, looking up ahead now, you can see this is Lando Norris's perspective now, and just in front of him is ourselves in third place. And of course, with the McLaren being the fastest car on the grid versus myself, this is not going to be that fun with DRS now heading towards the Ascari chicane here. This is when I thought Lando would potentially go for it there. He didn't quite go for it there. Was that a freeze frame then at the start of the race? I can't even remember then. But anyway, now we're coming onto the straight here, and we're trying to defend against Lando Norris now as we come up towards the Parabolica now. Lando goes towards the inside line here for this move, but we break a little bit later. Swoop around the outside there. Lando just sort of loses his composure a bit there on the exit, but he's still got a fabulous run now onto the pit straight here. And as you can see, well, further back, it's just complete carnage and chaos right now because Rosberg is coming back at the Red Bull of George Russell. I think DRS will be enabled for it. No, it's enabled for George Russell. That's interesting. I thought it'd be enabled for Rosberg. He must have been in front of the detection zone. And do we want any more cars down that pit straight or not? Hamilton now is coming through on all of this. He's passed Pascal Wehrlein. Oh, he's got shoved onto the grass there by Rosberg now. That's left the Porsche car of Max Verstappen involved in this. Vettel just behind all of that. Wehrlein has lost more oh my god, how many places has Wehrlein lost and all that? That's really going to upset Pascal Wehrlein. He's dropped a lot of places, and Russell has just broken out of the DRS train there, and that's really going to help him a lot there as Hamilton now tries to get through on Nico Rosberg. He does so. Very good overtake there from Lewis Hamilton. Very well executed, and meanwhile, we're still carrying on with the replay cams because everyone is just fighting everywhere right now. So there's no point in cutting perspectives here. Lando Norris now much closer to us in towards the Ascari chicane. Now we blast through here. Lando Norris with the DRS enabled at this point. This is where he should go for it down the inside, but we just about have enough to cover off that specific portion of the Ascari chicane. But we get the second phase of it a little bit wrong. Back in, you just saw it then, slided slightly. That didn't give me the line that I wanted to do now. And as we make the run here comes Lando Norris now for the attack, and this is going to be a very simple overtake. We're going to switch it here, and oh, that was so close to the back of Lando Norris's rear wing then. That could have been so costly for our Grand Prix, but we just stuck it in there really late and sharp reactions there to attack Norris. And why have I done that? Well, I now have DRS on this straight, so Norris will get the better initial run, but as soon as my DRS is activated, that's when I start to pull in, and this is critical as well. With the DRS enabled for myself, that gives me much more straight line speed. Now I'm into the back of Hulkenberg, and I'm in his slipstream and DRS now, so really, that was a perfect scenario for us, as unfortunately Sergio Perez is out of the Italian Grand Prix in the Lamborghini car. So that's not very good in Lamborghini's home race as well. Of course, Lamborghini, the Italian manufacturer, I actually genuinely forgot that it was their home race as well. I was too busy focusing on Ferrari in that scenario. My bad. But you can see there that we're about 1 second off as we go in towards the Ascari chicane now, as you can see. We have got DRS on Hulkenberg in front, which is closing us in now. And now we're starting to, we've reeled into that slipstream bounds of Nico Hulkenberg. And you can see 6/10 off now as we make our way through the exit of the Ascari chicane this time around. And now we can start piling on the pressure to the Ferrari driver as Sam continues to pull away out front. Norris now still looking ever closer here to go towards the inside of the Parabolica. He thinks better of it and decides not to bother making an overtake. And I was kind of happy about that because now I've got Rich Mix enabled. I've got Overtake ERS enabled. I've now got full attack here on Hulkenberg in that Ferrari. You can see here it is myself versus Hulkenberg versus Lando Norris for second place in this Grand Prix. Sam out front, you can see him just there. We're going to go to the outside line of the chicane, breeze past Nico Hulkenberg in the Ferrari. He had no response. He tries to come back in towards the start of the chicane there, but didn't give him any form of room to even attempt that now as we go through towards the Curva Grande now. And this is when Hulkenberg tries to come back on me here as we go swinging it through now. Hulkenberg is on the inside line here. He's still got great speed through there to Hulkenberg's favour. Now towards the inside line in towards the chicane. He's locked up though slightly. That's put him right off course there, and that's given me the advantage to pull away now. Norris is behind Nico Hulkenberg. And their fighting actually continues as here comes Lando Norris now in towards the Parabolica. This should be quite a simple overtake for Lando, in fact, and he has done it there. Nice overtake, quite easy, and he can carry on his way. But the problem is he's going to now have Hulkenberg come back at him with DRS on the pitch straight now. So Norris really hasn't put himself into good perspective here. But you can see for myself, I have now pulled away from the slipstream of these two cars. I'm still wary that they're close by and they've got DRS just like Hulkenberg has here. And I need to be careful of that because as we go towards the chicane now, even though that we have got a bit of an advantage, we can't settle back, but definitely these guys can't settle back here because they're still going for a bit of a scrap here. We've got Lewis Hamilton versus Vettel versus Verline versus one of the Porsche cars. I think Rosberg's in front of all this as well, so I think the Ferrari of Rosberg has managed to re-overtake all this lot as we've got so many cars just scrapping away at the moment here. So Vettel now, Hamilton there just about gets past the Porsche car. That was a little bit close on the exit there. Now as they come in towards the chicane, I bet the Porsche car and also the Red Bull are going to have a little run at them. Yeah, Rosberg has got in front of these two and he's pulled away slightly now as Verline there makes a great overtake on Vettel, and that is a great creative play there from Pascal. Very similar to what was done previously as we go on board with Nico Hulkenberg now, and you can see that he's on the back of Lando Norris towards the Ascari chicane now. DRS enabled for Hulkenberg. Lando Norris goes a little bit defensive there, not too much though, and in towards the chicane now. Hulkenberg pretty much gets an okay-ish line through there, not too bad for himself, and now you can see that he's comfortably on through as we look on backwards now with Vettel, who's under pressure from Pascal Verline. So Vettel still fighting away with him as Norris now is coming back at Nico Hulkenberg again here in towards the Parabolica. This time they're still side by side here. Hulkenberg really is not going to let that McLaren just breeze past him like that. No chance in hell for him as they now come on to the start-finish straight once again to complete another lap. But this time now I think Hulkenberg's going to be the one with the DRS. In fact, no, yeah, he is. He has got DRS. So Hulkenberg was just behind in that situation as Norris now kind of really doesn't have any response in this stage. Oh, is a lock up there from Hulkenberg though. That sort of bunched and barbed what's his face, Lando Norris out of the way there, and all the time these two are scrapping. That is just giving me and Sam the opportunity to just drive away in this Grand Prix. At the moment, I'm not actually closing in on Sam. Sam is pulling away quite easily for myself. This is just a chance for me to just pull away and not be involved in this Slipstream fest. Otherwise, I'd have to keep using a lot of ERS, a lot of fuel. At the moment, I can manage it now. As you can see, Norris just about is going to get in front of his Hulkenberg towards the Lesmos, but you never guess what. Hulkenberg comes back at him again in towards the Ascari chicane. They just love a good old scrap, these two now. And as you can see here, going in towards the second part of the Ascari chicane, little compromised line there from Lando Norris. Norris, but he has made it stick, and now Rosberg there in the background is getting drawn into this. Also, one of the Red Bulls here, I think this is Russell, has been drawn into the scrap. It is, it's George Russell. So now he's been drawn into the scrap. They've been fighting for so long here that, well, they're just completely battling against each other. Hulkenberg takes the position. Lando Norris is under pressure here, but I think Lando has got DRS on this pit straight compared to Hulkenberg, and I'm correct in saying no, I'm not. None of them have got DRS. Only Russell does. So Russell has decided he wants DRS. He's going to box himself in, though. Hulkenberg's been boxed in. It's a lock up there from Hulkenberg. Now the two of them scrap away. Norris has managed to get the position done. Hulkenberg is compromised down the line here. The two of them go side by side, and this is a perfect opportunity for Lando Norris now. He's got the move done, and Hulkenberg got boxed in by the Red Bull. Those lot are going to fight, and that's going to allow Norris to pull away now. He shouldn't really be involved in this scrap any longer as they go in towards the chicane now. They have to go a little bit defensive. They compromise each other's lines there, and yeah, you can see now that Lando Norris, and it's literally like that around Italy. If you can get out of that 1 second DRS, hello Hamilton, that 1 second DRS window, then you're completely fine. As guess what? The two Audis keep scrapping again. What a surprise. Lap 11 of the Grand Prix now. We're coming in for our first stop of the Grand Prix. We're going on to a set of the soft tyres. I managed to drag out the super soft tyres enough for myself, and Sam was in a class of his own today. Was really, really quick. And I don't think at any stage was I ever closing the gap on him. And I just decided, you know what, let's just run my own race. We have that championship advantage, of course. I'm not going to take massive, silly risks against Sam. I'm just going to do my own Grand Prix. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So I'm coming out of the pits now here. And I apologize that the replay cameras are as glitchy as your mother. I didn't even realize that when I was editing it. I just put it in the thing, and now as soon as I'm post-comming it, apologies about that. Didn't realize it was that glitchy. Yeah, it's only for a couple of seconds. But anyway, we're coming out of the pits now, and we've only got Pierre Gasly in front of us in the Jaguar cars. We've got a fight going on there between Carlos Sainz and Esteban Ocon, and that should be Ocon's move there. And he has done it. Good job there from Ocon. But the Lamborghini of Carlos Sainz, will he have a little go back here and try and celebrate with the home crowds and see if anyone will try and fight alongside him? Here he comes then in towards the chicane, so he will try it here. Will Carlos Sainz. Let's see how he gets on, though, in towards the chicane here. He does get the move on Ocon there, so good stuff from Carlos Sainz. And I'm pretty sure some of the Lamborghini fans out there will be satisfied with that one now. As we get on board here with myself versus Pierre Gasly now in the battle for second place here. It's kind of going to be quite a simple move here. I didn't even put that much overtake attack into it, because I knew that I'd get the job done quite easy here. We're going to go down the inside of Pierre Gasly in towards the Sky chicane. I went a little bit wide there on the exit there. I outbroke myself ever so slightly, but we got the move done nonetheless. And unfortunately, that was actually the final piece of action that we had in the entire Grand Prix. Lap 27 of the race, nothing happened. When I mean nothing happened, nothing happened. It was completely dead after that. It was a crazy start to the Grand Prix. Sam sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix on the final lap to show the domination that he had. For myself, though, we'll take it. Second place in Italy, splitting the two McLarens is a stellar job for myself. Crosses the line, new personal best lap as well. So we put the ante up on the final lap there. But it is second place then for the Italian Grand Prix. And like I said, unfortunately, nothing else happened. It was one of those rarities whereby as soon as everyone really settled down and weren't in DRS range of anyone, then obviously we would get away with it. You can see that we finished in Sam won the Grand Prix ahead of myself and Lando Norris. I did get a 3-second time penalty. That was just for track limit extensions. And you can see Reese there finishing in 8th place ahead of the two Renaults as well, who didn't score points today. Good points though for Ferrari because they managed to score today. But anyway, guys, let's have a look at the Drivers and Constructors Championship after this race. So after that Italian Grand Prix then, how does things look in the Drivers' Championship? Well, my gap between myself and Sam at the top of the championship is on 46 points. That does mean that mathematically Sam is still in contention to win the Formula 1 World Championship. He just obviously has to make sure that I have two really poor races, basically at Japan and Belgium, in order to clinch the championship. Moving on then, Pascal Wehrlein is on 138 points. He only scored 1 point today. And with Sam picking up the victory, that kind of basically puts him now in a clear second place in the championship. The fight for fourth in the championship, though, still continues to heat up. Reese still leads the way with 102 points to his name. George Russell is on 99 points, tied with Sebastian Vettel. Lando Norris with third place today moves up to 91 points. And Lewis Hamilton fails to score points, once again putting on 84 points and putting him further and further away from contention to finish in that coveted fourth place spot. Charles Leclerc also didn't score points today. He's on 72 points. He's down 30 points off Reese, but anything can happen in the last two races, so mathematically, he is still within the chance. And Pierre Gasly's reign at the top 10 of the World Championship in the Jaguar car has come to an abrupt end as Nico Hülkenberg, with a fine performance today in the Ferrari, moves into the top 10 of the championship for the first time since I believe it was like round 3 or round 4 now that we've seen Hülkenberg or a Ferrari car in that top half of the championship. On then into the Constructors' Championship, and Mercedes lead the way with 326 points. It's been a great season so far for Mercedes, especially with McLaren struggling to keep in touch with them. They do have a 56-point lead over McLaren at this stage, and obviously they'll do everything they can to try and stay in front of them. Red Bull have dropped behind in the championship. They lost 33 points to McLaren this time around. They're on 227 points. Audi, once again, 2 races now that Red Bull haven't quite been at their best, and Audi have failed to capitalise. They're on 183 points, and I'm more than settled now for P4 in the championship. Porsche still continue to try and close up on Audi, but it's just a little bit too little too late. 111 points for them. Ferrari with a great double points haul today puts them on 76 points and eases the pressure from Renault, who have been closing up ever so slowly, with Jaguar and Lamborghini still not scoring, and obviously BMW haven't even scored a single point at all this season. Let's have a look at the post-race notebook though. Let's see what the teams and the drivers had to say before we round off today's episode. Taking a look then at the post-race notebook, well, first of all, Sam is very happy to win here at the Italian Grand Prix, and he says that he wants to end his championship season on a high. He says that it's not been the greatest season for him with reliability issues, but he can take a lot from it, he says, and he's just looking forward now to getting back into the car and winning as many races as he possibly can before the season ends. McLaren, however, were frustrated by Lando Norris after being stuck in battles during the race. McLaren said that it was nothing to do with nothing was Lando Norris's fault. They were frustrated that they weren't able to split Tom in that matter. Obviously in the race, it was Sam that won the Grand Prix ahead of Tom and then Lando Norris. Unfortunately, when Lando was on the back of Tom and scrapping away with him, as soon as Tom made the move on Hülkenberg, unfortunately Lando Norris couldn't make it as smoothly and was stuck in a slipstream fight against him, allowing Tom to pull away and to ease into his own race. And McLaren were just frustrated as they felt a 1-2 was most definitely on the cards. Ferrari were very happy to grab a strong points haul at their home Grand Prix. It's been such a difficult year for Ferrari and they've really been suffering a lot, but they were really satisfied with today's point score and finish, and are looking forward to just ending the season in the best possible way and yeah, trying to get back on track for next season. But anyway guys, that is going to be it for the F1 Journey episode 13 for the Italian Grand Prix. If you guys have enjoyed it, feel free to drop it a like and subscribe if you're only around here to the channel as well. Next episode we've got the Japanese Grand Prix where the championship is on the line. 46 points separates myself and Sam with 2 races to go. It's going to need a lot from Sam. All he's got to do is just win the races and do his bit, and I've got to do my bit and finish consistently like I had done all season. But as always guys, I will see you for that episode very soon. Thank you very much for watching. Take care all guys. Peace.